Hey guys, and welcome to round 5 of the ARL Camping World Truck Series, here from Homestead Miami Speedway, and today we got 80, hopefully, green laps for you. Joining me today will be Tommy Cumper. Do you want to just introduce yourself there, Tommy?
Yep, I'm Thomas Comper, otherwise known as Tommy. I'll be helping Hard Nutter for the race commentary. I race in the V8s and currently the reigning rookie road champion, I believe.
Yeah, I believe
Is
that's
good.
true.
Haven't participated this year. Thought I'd take a little break. In the V8s, it's not going particularly well, but oh well. Always next year. Next season, sorry.
Yeah, we'll get into that later, but just coming up to the 10-minute mark, obviously we got 15 minutes of qualifying here. I think the guys... Is it an open qualifying session at the moment? I don't think it is. It's closed, isn't it? But
I believe it's closed, yeah.
let's just have a rundown of the current standings. We've got Tim the Moorman Mawson, 32.520. Great lap from him.
I'll
See,
be
we
pleased
saw
with that,
from...
won't he?
Yeah, obviously we saw in practice guys were a couple of tenths quicker than that. So we know that is beatable. But let's just see what AC does later in the session. Dropping down the standings, Steve H. Smith, second. Good result for him. Just under a tenth off the pace of Mawson, but I don't think he's had quite as many laps. And as I say, with the PM and thread timing kind of differences, some of the guys jumped in a bit late. So hopefully that doesn't cause too many incidents early on as the guys build up. Third is Shane Pateman, a thousandth off of Steve's time, so that's very good for him. Joe Forster, great results for him, just over a tenth. Oscar Hardwick, just under 2 tenths. Amelin, half second, and Ben Horrell, a second off the pace at the moment.
Good to see some close times.
Yeah, hopefully, we've discussed it before going live, that the times do seem to taper off pretty quickly. Within 5 or so laps in the race pace, your times can go off up to like a second. So hopefully there's some of the guys at the back like Ben Horrell, second off the pace now, but possibly his driving style might come to him during the race. Maybe he won't taper off quite as much as some of the other guys, and that just spice up a little bit more.
Well, with such a drop off with the tyres, do you think we could see some green flag pit stops? Do you think people would feel it necessary to pit under green flag?
Well, as I say, it's about a 32-second lap time here, so it is a possibility. Obviously, we saw at Michigan, every time there was a caution, that everyone would just dive into the pits for the new tyres. And although that was pretty extreme, this is even kind of worse for the tyres. And I'm not sure, I don't know what you think about this, but in some of the other oval tracks and the things that we've been running, it's been more about the tyre temperature rather than the tyre wear. I know in the Legends rookie oval, I did 70 odd laps on the Thursday race, and after that I came into the pits and the tyres were reading that they only had about 95% wear, 5% wear on them. So that's kind of indicates that it's more to do with tyre temperature than tyre wear. I don't know what
Yeah,
if
I
you want
mean
to...
these sort of tracks where you're lifting into the corners, so you're right on the edge of grip compared to the flat out ovals like Talladega and Daytona, where the cars could go a good like 30 miles an hour faster. They could go up to 230 odd, couldn't they, around those tracks? Obviously, with these tracks, you're right on the limit of corner grip, so the tyres are heating up rapidly, and we've seen, within a few laps that they're a second off their qualifying pace.
Yeah, just looking at Oscar's on board there, and it looks like he just tapped the wall a bit. I'm not sure if he's having any kind of technical bugs or anything going on, but it does look like he's dived down to the apron, so possibly he has got a little bit of damage, and he's just trying to see what he can do about it. I'm not sure
They
how
do
many
get
laps he's done, but
cars get quite loose. I've seen into the corners just watching the drivers during practice. So although there may not, I'm sure they'll race each other fair, but there's bound to be a few cautions due to drivers losing it on the corners.
yeah, as we saw with Tim last week, or last event back in Michigan, just losing it on his own, ended up in the pit lane, and I think he got a speeding in the pits penalty for that. So that is a possibility, but I think the pit entrance here is a lot tighter. So if any incidents like that do happen, I can only see them getting away with something even worse. Obviously, we've only got the one car, reset. So if anyone does tag the wall or anything, they're probably going to have to either dive into the pits and just live with the time that they're going to sit there, or use up that one kind of valuable respawn, or I'll call it a respawn because that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
And then obviously they've got to just hope that they don't tag the wall again or get caught in any incidents later on in the race, because as we've been saying for the last couple of minutes, it is really, really easy to lose it. Even on your own, it's easier to lose it. As we see AC doing coming out of the pits there. So
That's Kenville coming out of the pits. Oh, and he's tapped the wall. That's not good.
So it is definitely possible, and with 10 or so cars battling for position, it's very possible. But let's just have a look at the standings, because I just saw...
Can I just say something? Do we have we got a race administrator present, or do I need to drop down and have a little chat to sort that out?
Yeah, normally it's obviously Tim that does that, but if you just jump down, because as you see, he is racing today, so it's possible that you're going to have to do that, unfortunately.
It's alright, just jump down for a second.
User left your channel.
So yeah, AC back on track. Obviously he's just spun out coming out of the pits, but he's going to want to improve because times are so close, although he does seem to just have the rhythm around the track. So let's just see what he can do. I'll get the lap time thing up for now, but it doesn't seem to be working. So sorry about that, but just see how high they ride. Obviously there's a top speed of about 170 miles an hour, mid-corner speed drops to about 140, 145. So there is quite a difference between kind of maximum and minimum speeds. And let's just hope that the guys settle down pretty quickly after the start laps and kind of spread out. As Tommy Guns joined us.
I'm back. It was a good thing I did that, because we'd have messed the lucky dog thing up, because it's actually the driver that's nearest the lead lap rather than the one furthest down. So you see, Kendall's done an absolutely amazing lap there to get on pole position.
That is brilliant. As I just said, the times are so consistent with these top couple of guys. Obviously, we saw in practice the AC and Tim were doing very similar times to what they're doing now. So that can only bode well for them, especially in the early stages of green flag runs. Just try
Only
and build up a lead.
0.02 of a second as well, and I don't know if you've mentioned that. I don't know if Kenville was unaware of the start time of the race, but he only joined about 5 or 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's very great for him just to be able to put up the pace. Obviously, these guys are quite dedicated to the league, trying to get as good a positions as possible. And they've probably put in quite a few hours on the track kind of outside of this session. I'm not sure what the official kind of iRacing session is in the trucks this week, but it might actually be this track. If so,
I'm pretty sure they mirror the official series.
Yeah, so obviously Canville, although he hasn't put in much time in the session, he must have put in quite a lot of laps during the week.
Absolutely. I mean, you said hours of practice, but that's probably true, because you never would think that an oval you need a lot of practice, but a track like this where you need a good line and need to lift off into corners, it can, hours of practice can gain you a couple of tenths, and they're vital around this sort of track.
Yeah, and it's not just practice with the car on the track. It's also just with the car. So even on some of these guys that have done all the rounds so far, they've got vital kind of experience with the car. Maybe not in terms of actual lap time, but in terms of just trying to keep tyre management, and possibly if there's any cautions up ahead, they'll know kind of how to control the car to avoid any incidents and keep out of trouble for themselves.
Absolutely. As you see, Kenville's just improved on his previous time by a huge 1,000th of a second.
Small margins, but it's making
every
a
little
difference for him
helps.
now.
Be interesting to see the tire degradation, or the not degradation, but like tire temps in traffic, because obviously you got the turbulent air off the back of the car, because these cars or trucks, whatever you want to call them, are just massive lumps of metal on the track.
Yeah, one of the things that's kind of been worrying me is most of these guys in the practice session I noticed were, I see Ben Horrell
Blake.
there. Oh, is that Blake? Sorry, my mistake. Oh yeah, Blake.
Might have been Ben as well.
Possibly.
He's reversing to finish the lap.
But yeah, none of the guys in the practice seem to be running any laps together, so obviously that's going to possibly hinder them in the race. As I said earlier, the maximum speed, I think, is about 175 that any of these guys will get. They'll possibly get another 5 miles an hour with a good tow. So obviously that's going to change their kind of lift-off points around the track. So let's just hope that doesn't cause too many incidents.
I mean, with this track, with the obviously the importance of the racing line, you know, you can either go fast into the corner or fast out. You can't have both, so it's going to be quite tricky for people to pass, even if they are quicker, because you know they'll probably dive for the inside and get a better run, but then the guy on the outside will just get a better exit. So it's going to be tricky out there.
Yeah, I would have thought it'd just be the one pace lap. Obviously, we're starting the pit lane here. So as soon as that car comes around to turn 4, it's going to be diving into the pit lane. We'll be going green, or at least that's what I assume. I wouldn't have thought this would be 2 pace laps, would you?
I wouldn't see the need to have it unless I know the really short tracks have 2, don't they?
Yeah, like in the Legends we saw the other day.
This is sort of a medium-sized track, so yeah, I think 1 would probably be enough.
Yeah, obviously the purpose of the pace laps just to kind of to get all the guys up to speed, possibly put temperatures in the tyres. Obviously we've been saying that they don't really want temperatures in the tyres, but you never know. Some of the guys might have like an alternate strategy, and that's basically what this pace lap's for, just to split the field up. Obviously, the cars really don't have much power low down, so if they did do a kind of a start, without a rolling start, the cars just wouldn't move, and there'd be quite a lot of incidents.
Yeah, there's been a few incidents on the starts that have. Hopefully, the guys have learnt to sort of pace themselves a bit when starting. You know, people have run into the back of other people, thinking they'll get a better start, but it hasn't worked.
It looks like the pack's just splitting. They're not sure if they should go on the track or if they should go down the
I think. Do they do that in real life, where they have one set go onto the track and the other in the pit lane? I'm not sure, but it seems a little bit sensible to do that because that pit lane exit isn't wide enough. Although the pace car went straight onto the track, so you'd thought that was a better option.
Yeah, we're just going to be kind of hoping that if there are any cautions or green lap pit stops, that the guys are going to be using that pit lane. Obviously, it's, as I said earlier, it's about a mid corner speed of about 165 miles an hour. So the guys aren't going to be wanting to come out of the pit. So I'm guessing the pit lane limit's 45 miles an hour. I'm not going to be wanting to do that and jump straight onto the track without a little build up. But let's just follow this.
Safety car lights are out, so I'm guessing it's coming in.
A bit of a gap there between Tim Mawson on the inside lane. Don't know if he's possibly trying to plan something out from the start, so if he can get a good launch. Pace car's in, and we're going green, holding it very long to the line, and we're green. We're go.
Steve H. Smith was a little bit caught napping there. 44 of Jake Forster, he ran into the back of him there.
Yeah, very close stuff here, but it looks like the 2 lanes are working, but they're going to all want to get down low as possible, as quickly as possible, because as we were saying, the cars just push higher and higher. And if they are too wide, then it's gonna put quite a lot of pressure on the guy on the outside.
Tim Mawson there up the inside, trying to slot into third place where he started.
Yeah, great start for him. Obviously, he didn't move up too much, but again, he hasn't lost out. He goes on the inside against the number 5 car there. Let's just see. Doesn't look like he got the run out of the corner, and that is very, very close there.
Alex Simpson gives him room.
Yeah,
Wise
nice
move.
driving by him, but let's just see if Tim can get it.
Oh,
He's
Tim's
lost
gone.
it.
Oh,
that is,
no, don't.
and
oh,
that is
he's in the
possibly even
wall.
worse for him, because I don't think a caution will come out for that. He was
No, he's
all
off
on
the
his
track.
own. Let's just
No,
get a
he's-
quick replay of that.
Just a bit eager on the throttle there.
Possibly, obviously, he nearly had the kind of the job done on AC, but just that bit too eager.
Don't know whether the tyres were just a bit too cold. I mean, I know there's that you get the best lap time on cold tyres in this game, which is a flaw they're trying to fix. But yeah, that's strange. And Tim's usually Mr. Consistent.
Yeah, obviously he came in for the last race because his internet and things were sorted, but now it's just coming to kill him. He's got the pace, but he just doesn't seem to have the experience, as we were saying earlier. Just didn't really know what to do in that situation.
It's not necessarily over. We've got fast toes, so he can get his car fixed and get back out there. Can only hope that there's a caution for his sake to get back up to the front. As you see, 31 of Jake. Oh no, who's that? 31. Who's that? Stephen H. Smith there, battling with Jake.
Yeah, so
Oscar Hardwick.
Just a little bit late with the replay, but yeah, Tim totally losing on his own there. Very unfortunate about that. Sorry about the delay and kind of getting that up, but still going green at the moment, and 75 laps remaining. And it looks like AC is kind of tucked up behind the 48 car of the race leader, I believe, and he's just gonna.
I think Tim isn't in the pit lane. I think he might have pulled out after that crash. It's a great shame, unless he's towing. In which case
possibly.
he wouldn't sit in the pit lane. Oh no, I think he's connection issues.
Very disappointing from him.
We'll put it down to an electrical failure on the car.
In the Thursday session, I had a look at everyone's ping response times, and they seemed a little bit higher for Tim. So just carrying on, his internet troubles, however you want to put it, just don't seem to be sorted. But let's get back to the action.
Look at this, we've got a three-way battle for the leads. We've got Kenville, Alec, and who's that as well? We've got Shane there. And as you see, Alex Simpson's going to try and move up the inside, but thinks better of it.
Yeah, any little mistake.
Very close stuff.
Nothing.
I think that's cost him a little bit. He's dropped back a little bit.
Yeah, now we're
I think
going to
Shane's
see.
a little bit closer.
It looks like the overlay's just having a little bit of a issue with the laps there, and I'll just see if we can jump.
Oh, Alex again getting a run out of first corner. I've just got word that Tim's computer froze while he was in the pit, which is a great game.
That's what happened to him at the Glen in the 120 minutes of Thunder. Obviously, he's having overheating issues with his engine at the moment. So.
Kendall's gone very, very wide into the last corner. He's now dropped to third place.
Shane Pateman now up to second. AC leading. Great overtake from him. And Tim's back on the track, but the leaders are coming up onto the back end very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So
5 laps down. He's lost a load of time.
Yeah, respect for him for staying in it though. He could have just backed out, but he hasn't. So nice to see from him. The battle's getting hotter now, but Tim should be able to stay in the lead. Well, say in the lead. He should be able to stay in front of these guys simply because I would have thought he'd have got a few new tyres in the pit. So.
Absolutely. Might let them pass. You never know. Interesting to see that Kenville seems to be drawn off the back of this lead battle. Actually, while I say that, he closed up a little bit.
Yeah, these three are very, very close. As we saw, there's just a couple of thousandths separating them in qualifying, but in the race it seems to be even closer. Any single mistake, but we can see there seems to be two lines. Shane just kind of going a bit lower than the 5 car of AC.
I'm just wondering whether, when you're following someone, you kind of get a better idea of what line to take and how hard to push.
Yeah, because you get, as we say, you get a little bit of a tow, so that can kind of help you anyway. Even if you're not quite up to speed, it could be like the 10th or so, just to keep you in the battle. And by following these guys' kind of lines, you can really learn a lot, especially on the road courses. Maybe not so much for the ovals, but definitely for the ovals. As we see there, Shane Pateman having a little look at AC, diving down the inside. He might get the job done here. AC's tyres don't seem to be hanging on around the outside. But he's going to have a much better run out of turn 4. He's got the little toe from Mawson, possibly 1.5, 2 seconds in front of him. So a little bit of toe.
Oh, he's got to duck back in again, and he's lost a little bit of time there. Fallen back a bit.
Yeah, Kenville nearly had him there, but is that just me, or is that a little bit of rear right bumper damage for AC's car there?
Ooh.
Possibly just the camera angle, I'm not quite sure.
Was that Shane just tapping the wall there?
I believe.
Might have been a netcode issue, but he looked like he scraped the wall a little bit.
Yeah, as we say, 13 laps, all of them green, even with Tim's kind of instant a few laps ago. And the tyres must be come to the end of their workable life now. Guys are going to be able to handle it, but they're going to be losing so much time. Hour and 22
we're doing
left of the session.
33.2s at the moment. That's almost a second off the pace.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, we said this back at Michigan, but maybe if someone pits a couple laps from the end, just see what happens if they're not, if they can get on the podium, they might give it a go.
Yeah, you never know, but I can't really see the tyres dropping off any further than they are at the moment, seeing as it is temperature rather than actual wear.
Yeah, it will be interesting if there was a caution now, just to see what the difference was after a few pace laps, just to bring the tyres down and see what they could get on the green flag restarts. I'm sure the tyre temperatures being cooler would probably put them within a tenth or two of what they were getting earlier in the session.
Your prediction about Tim being able to stay ahead is correct. He's obviously with fresher tyres, he's just about a tenth, maybe 2 tenths faster than guys behind him.
Yeah, the only issue is, if he does get past, then obviously that's going to need an extra wave around. So he's going to be fighting the best he can just to stay away from these guys. As soon as the guys get within, say, a second, they're probably going to just breeze past him, because they'll have the toe, whereas he won't kind of like a slingshot effect straight past him, but he seems to be keeping the gap at the moment. Just heard over team radio there, Oscar's saving tyres. So yeah, tyres definitely are the issue of the day.
As we see there, Oscar and Jake are about 2 tenths off the leader's pace at the moment.
Yeah, not too much, but over 80 laps. That's gonna soon add up. He's gonna be wanting to get onto the pace pretty soon. I think he's near the top of the championship, like top half of the championship at the moment. So, a good result here could bump him up a few more positions. Obviously, we've got the drop rounds, but still with the drop rounds in place, I don't think he's going to be aiming for kind of a podium in the championship. But
Absolutely.
it's all for kind of respect going into the new season. Obviously, in a couple of weeks' time, about a month or so's time, we've got the new season coming up.
Right.
So,
Alex Simpson's currently doing 33.5s, and Shane behind is 33.2 that lap, as Alex Simpson matches him that lap, but you can't help think that Shane's gonna get past at some point, as we see he's on the inside on this lap. Ooh.
Caution. There's a caution out. I'm not sure what that is
What was that for?
I'm sure we'll get an update. But it looks like
Oh,
turn
smoke
3.
ahead. Blake Tovey.
Blake Tovey. Let's just see if we can get on board of that.
What's happened there? He's weaving quite a long way down the straight. Oh, I don't know what happened. I wonder if he had some sort of software glitch with his wheel, because he just suddenly lost on the straight, unless he's had a damage earlier on in the lap.
Yeah, he seemed to be going quite slow up to that point, and then...
Oh, in turn 1 he hits the wall, so... hard to work out what's gone on. Might have got damage from there, or he might have had a problem with his wheel. That's a real shame.
Yeah, just
as we see, everyone's diving in the pits.
Let's just jump back to the action. I don't believe anyone else was caught up in the accident with Blake, so...
Just wondering what I should do for the wave around. Should I wait until they've all settled down behind the pace car before doing it?
Yeah, just wait until everyone's set behind the pace car, then issue it. See, it's
Actually,
only one wave round.
Yeah, the wave round won't be for Tim, it'll be for Blake.
Ah, that's
It
fair.
seems. Although he's still in the pits. Right, I'll leave it for a few moments just to see what's going on.
Yeah, just looking at the pit lane there, it looks like all the drivers took all 4 tyres, so it's not a case of just trying to jump anyone in the pits just by fitting two of the right side tyres. Everyone's gone for 2 tyres. Possibly fuel. That might be on the limit for fuel, but obviously if they've pitted now, they should be fine. Fine until the end, I would have thought.
Right, I'm gonna wait until they've crossed the line before I issue any waves.
I have to say, is that now our artificial leader, Ben Horrell? Although I think he might be a lap down. Lap 21, let's just get a little rundown of the standings. Obviously we'll wait a second just until everyone's crossed the line so the overlay can update.
Don't want to wave someone I should. Yeah, Ben Horrell's in 8th place, so I'm going to be waving Blake past.
As they were before the caution, it's for the top 3 at least. AC leading, Shane Pateman 2nd, Steve Smith 3rd, Oscar Hardwick 4th, very good for him, Amelin 5th, Jake Forster 6th, Ben Horrell 7th, Blake Tovey 8th, Tim Mawson 9th, and Ken Valinis has retired, although not quite sure.
I believe that's incorrect. Says he's running his set on my thing.
There we go, IRTVO.
Having quite a few problems with the ticker, it seems.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why, but we always have them, and there we go.
Right, that's a bit bizarre. That is it. Am I right in thinking that Ben Horrell isn't lapped, but he's the first in the queue behind the safety car?
Yes. Obviously,
Right,
it's the
what's
first.
going to happen there? Is he just going to run there until they start?
Yeah, I think as it goes 1 lap to green, he might have to drop to the end. Not quite sure.
That might have messed up the standings, because Blakesy was lapped by the leader and was behind. But I couldn't have waved Ben around. He'd have been a lap ahead then, so...
Ben seemed to be going around the pace car there.
Yeah. So, it's basically another restart. Everyone's on fresh tyres.
Lap 23.
See, Kenville was dropping off the back towards the end of that first stint before the safety car, so I wonder if he can sort of redeem himself and get back up into first place.
Yeah, I'm just starting to wonder if it's kind of like F1, where if you're tucked up behind someone, as the front tyres kind of move across the ground a lot more. Kind of, that would obviously start the tyres blistering, but it would also increase the temperature quite a lot.
Could be, but I mean, Shane was running very close behind Alex the entire first stint, so he must have very good pace if he's able to follow that close.
Yeah, 3 cars at the back there, obviously a lap down. As we go green again, AC keeping them behind him for the time being. We're green. Doesn't look like there's too much action this time around. Everyone's got away pretty cleanly. No overtakes. Oh, Aaron Millen there, just holding position. That's good for him. Oscar possibly now with a little chance to battle. As I said, he only joined practice with about 20 minutes left, so he's had quite a few laps now and he's probably up to pace. Normally he is pretty quick around these types of ovals, so let's just see if those few extra laps will be able to kind of bring him back in the podium fight here. Mullen going very high there, and he's let 2 cars pass. That's not great for him. Doesn't seem to be liking the tyres when they go off, and they do go off very, very quickly. About 0.2 a lap for the first 5 or so laps, and they seem to kind of even out. But there's definitely 2 packs forming at the moment between the 3 top runners in the midfield.
At the moment, it's the top 4, I'd say. Steve
in
in 4th place, keeping up. Oscar Hardwick about a second behind the back of the pack. See, Alex Simpson's pulled out a little bit of a gap. And you have to say, I'd definitely say Shane looks like has the strongest car out there at the moment. He's right up behind Kenville, looking very racy, and the previous stint was anything to go by. You have to suggest that, you know, he could definitely challenge for the lead.
Yeah, there's no reason to not think that, but as you see, the 84 car, I believe it is, just having a look down the inside, coming to turn 3, might get the job done. AC going very, very low there. I don't know if that's hindered him, but
what are your thoughts on Shane? Do you think he did a 32.5 for qualifying, which was a couple of tenths off pace. Do you think he's got a race set up on that car, or do you think he's just managing the tyres well?
Yeah, possibly that's it. Obviously a few of the guys will be using the fix setup, but the camping truck series is open, and yeah, just keeping the load down on the tyres to reduce the tyre temperatures. And at this stage I would have thought AC would just be liking that, because we know over a 1 lap stint AC's got the pace on Shane, but over these kind of 10 or so laps as they build up to the kind of edge of the tyres. Ooh, Shane there, losing it.
I was just about to mention how he was at half a tenth quicker. Oh, what a shame, he was looking so strong.
We saw a very similar thing earlier with Tim Mawson just getting loose out of turn 2, and the two have got to be feeling for each other with that. Very easy to do into all of the corners, so I'm not quite sure why it seems to just be happening out of turn 2, but perhaps there's a little bump or something on the way out.
Don't know if you want to do a replay.
I will try my best.
Unless it's quite tricky to do.
I believe I've left it too late now, but I'll do my best.
Good little battle between Oscar and Jake at the moment.
Yeah, Tim Mawson just getting on the back of these two now. I'm not quite sure why why Oscar's going so high. Possibly we heard earlier on the
Ooh,
team
who's
radio
that?
that he was.
Oh,
he
who's
was,
that? Who's that? Who's that? Steve. Steve nearly dropped it as well, and he's lost loads of speed. Oh, that was a good save. Oh, he clipped the wall though, but at least he didn't spin it. Probably has some damage now. Drivers are really struggling that turn.
Yeah, AC's managed to build a gap now. That might help him because he's out of that little toe kind of area, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, not even at the halfway stage here yet. Anything can still happen, but...
Tim Mawson, 6 laps down, he's actually looking pretty racy up against Jake and Oscar. Obviously he wants to claw some lap back.
Yeah, very, very quick through turns 3 and 4. He looks like he's got a little run on him here into turn 1, but possibly not. As he dives down the inside, let's just see if the tyres can handle it. Great skill from him there, but he might get...
Yeah, there's no need for Jake to really kind of fend him off. He's not racing him. He's 6 laps on him, or 5.9 laps now, but yeah, he can just tag along behind him.
Yeah, it's very, very unlucky for Tim. Same thing happened last week, as we said earlier. And once you
Ooh,
get
smoke.
5 or so laps, kind of it's your end of the race unless there's some huge accident involved in the whole field.
Got
But
a
Ben
Ben
going slow
Horrell
there.
off at the last corner. He lost it really early and was fighting to save it.
Just get a little
Oh, he
replay
very
of
nearly
that.
does. Oh, he gets it all saved and then sort of another little correction that throws it off again. Not been a good race for Ben, but he's a lap down now.
Yeah, he just doesn't seem to be up to speed, as we see Blake Talby there just passing on the outside. But when you go a little bit sideways, that's the temperature of the tyres is going too high. You need to calm it down quite a lot until they get back into the temperature gauge. But it looks like he might be pitting now. Possibly some damage. We've got the one fast toe, so he might be back on track and see if he can push his way back up. By the time all this has happened, he might be back on the same kind of lap as Tim, so that'll be interesting for the rest of the race.
Got Aaron Mullen there, doing the sensible thing and sort of keeping out of everyone's way. You see the gap between first and second sort of stabilised at around a second.
Yeah, AC's got the pace and he seems to have the skills to pay the bills at the moment. Just holding the gap.
Such a shame that Shane made that mistake. He certainly looked like he could challenge Alex for the lead of the race.
Yeah, gap's
But
now
yeah,
about
you have to
3.5
say.
seconds.
So the race is sort of settling down at the moment. We've had a few incidents, but people are still circulating.
Yeah,
You
it's
think
nice
there'll
to
be
see.
another caution or pit stops?
Definitely pit stops because the tyres are just going to go off. And possibly, as I said, when the caution came out, they might be on the limit for fuel. So it's near enough kind of acceleration around the whole track. We'll see a little bit of a lift off, but they're still accelerating using the fuel. So I'd be surprised if there aren't
Ooh,
any
we got a
more as
caution.
we see a caution. Not sure what that's for.
Oscar Hardwick has lost it. Oh, he was up high and he lost it and then corrected it. Oh, and he's hit Tim Mawson. No.
Let's just get this.
What a shame for Tim. He may have been 6 laps on, but he was looking strong, unlapping himself. Oscar Hardwick making his way back to the pits with a broken engine.
That is very disappointing. Lucky for who was that? Just managed to kind of seem to go through the middle of them both there. Very lucky for him. But that's
Let's have a look.
effectively both of their races over now.
That was Jake Forster, the number 44, just making his way through.
As the cars line up behind the pace car again.
Right, I can only assume that everyone's driven into the pits.
Yeah, I see a
Alex
car
is in,
smoking out there, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that was Oscar. As Alex is in, Kenville's in, Aaron Mullen stays out, Ben Hall stays out, Steve's in, Jake Forster's in. It's the only sensible thing to do, to be fair. The tyres are so much better when they're fresh. Rounds or just wait wait for another lap to sort of, for the standings to sort themselves out.
And just
Obviously
curious
Oscar
what
Hardwick
Ben's
had the race.
thoughts is, because obviously the first caution he stayed out as well, and he was effectively leading the race. Obviously he was a couple laps down, but he was the first one behind the pace car, and he's been trying to do the same thing again.
Right, let's just keep an eye on the pit stops at the moment. There's a pit stop race going on between Alex and Kenville. See, Alex has got the right side up first, left side up first. Gonna be away first, but
Oh, who's that in the background?
oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Kenville
much
has
better
got in the
start.
lead. He's overtaken Alex in pit stops.
That is very interesting, because obviously he reached the pit stop faster, but just couldn't do anything with
Absolutely.
that.
He was. Ooh. Did I just hear an engine blow up?
That is...
Got Jake Forster now up into third place. Overtaking Steve in the pit stops. Fantastic work by the pit crew of Jake Forster, the invisible pit crew.
I'm just going to quickly restart the overlay, because obviously I think mine's screwing up because it's saying that Jake's actually second at the moment, so I'm just going to restart that. Sorry about that guys.
As we see, Oscar Hardwick has quit the session. So I'm just going to wait. They've all crossed the line for everything to sort itself out. I think it'll be Ben Horrell getting the lucky dog, which is a one wave around the pace car. Fortunately, it won't put him on the lead lap, but never mind.
So 42 laps down, and let's just run down the orders, or 41 laps done. AC leading, Jake Forster second, Steve Smith third, Blake Tovey fourth, Shane Pateman fifth, Ben Horrell sixth, so he's moved up a position there. Aaron Mullen seventh, Tim Mawson eighth, and the retirees of Kenville Innes, Oscar Hardwick.
Kenville's in the lead. The ticket's still rubbish.
My overlay is totally screwed.
Never mind about that. Do you want me to run down the order?
It would probably be a good idea.
Yeah, as you got obviously under the pace car at the moment after Oscar Hardwick lost it on the exit of the final corner, I think, and collected Tim Mawson. Currently it is Kenville Innes in first, followed by Alex Simpson, Jake Forster, all the way up into third place, which is great for him, followed by Steve H. Smith, Blake Tovey in fifth place, which is great for him. He was a lap down, or 2 laps down earlier. Shane Pateman, is it?
Yes.
He was looking strong for the lead of the race, but made that mistake on the exit onto the back straight. And you've got Oscar Hardwick in 7th. He'll drop down the order because he's no longer in the race. Ben Horrell has just got a wave around in 8th. He'll move up to 7th. Aaron Mullen will move up to 8th. Tim Mawson will move up to 9th, but he's now 7 laps down.
Thanks for that. I'm not sure what's going on with the overlay. Seems to have got the laps right, but not the positions. So.
Safety car lights are out and they're on the back straight.
Should be going green this time around. Obviously, everyone's gone double file. And let's just see if anyone can get something going. Obviously, last couple of cautions, not too much overtaken into turn 1, but it is possible. A few of the guys at the back
Shane's out, you know. He's back on the lead lap. He's in sixth place. And Tim Mawson now gaining on the in-game chat. How he was getting into a rhythm before the unfortunate accident with Oscar.
As we're going green. Ken Villainous leading. And
Fantastic start by Kenville.
yeah, just held him perfectly. The guys just caught kind of off guard at that time.
Yeah, Alex Simpson's under threat from Jake, who's actually got past him. We've got a crash. Ben and Aaron Mullen slowly starting to learn the paint schemes and car numbers, which is good, and no longer have to look at the driver names. Let's see what happened there. They didn't hit, they just lost it both at the same time. Synchronized spinning. And Ben Horrell crashed, but he's gonna get another wave around, it seems. The
nearly
overlay's
held from Aaron there. Nearly. He didn't seem to get any damage or anything like that, so that's fine for him.
Just over half distance at the moment. Only had 3 cautions, which is good. Unlike a certain Rookie Oval race.
Don't even talk about that. Ken Villainous leading, although for some reason it's saying on the overlay that he's 9th. No idea why that is, but he is leading.
I'm sure there are constant updates for the overlay. I'm sure that bug will be ironed out. No one opted into pit unless the pit lane's closed at the moment.
Yeah, Tim Mawson just very unlucky at the moment. Obviously, first person to kind of go a lap down, yet he hasn't managed to be the first person to go a lap down when there's a kind of a caution. But so he's just built up 7 laps, and 10 laps, I believe it is now. He's got to try and work to get that back.
We're still in 10th place. Oscar Hardwick's 4 laps down, so he's got another 6 laps before he'll claw back the place on Oscar. But if he didn't have the mistake in the disconnection, he was looking very strong.
Well, yeah, he was quicker than, for instance, Jake Forster in qualifying, so you've only got to kind of assume that he would have been just as fast as him in the race, and he's doing pretty well at the moment.
And Jake's no slouch, is he?
No, he's the Thursday Rookie Oval champion from season 1. Very dominating performances on some of the tracks back in the street stock, and he seems to have carried it over to the trucks as well.
I think our commentary so far is going well, apart from a few glitches with the overlay, but apart from that, it's been quite good.
Yeah.
Quite an interesting race as well.
Yeah, apologies for that. Obviously, I think that I've downloaded everyone's paint schemes for this race, so apologies for last time out, and obviously the IndyCar as well for not getting your paint schemes, but 3rd time lucky and I've got all your paint schemes now, so hopefully that'll be fine. See Ben Horrell just being waved around there.
Has Jake Forster got up into 2nd?
Yeah, obviously my overlay at the moment saying he's first,
sorry, yeah.
But
I've completely forgot that you overtook him on the previous safety car.
Yeah, I said this in the IndyCar. It's for the top 3. I think it's probably the 3 guys that you'd expect there to be there. Possibly 1 or 2. Possibly one guy that's not really there, which is obviously Ken Villainous. But it's not in the order I would have thought. I would have thought that AC would be leading at this point with Jake Foster 3rd. And obviously the 2nd place, second. I hope that makes sense anyway. Probably
I'm sure
doesn't,
it does.
but yeah. Still caution at the moment. Doesn't look like we're going green quite yet. But it's
They're
like
just lining up for
yeah.
too
Like
wide.
the pace car are out and they'll be going green this time around. Just over the halfway point now. 47 laps completed. See if we
It's
can
quite
get
a long race, to be fair. Those
Yeah, it's quite.
half-minute laps, 80 laps, and it's only halfway.
Yeah, would have been nice to kind of get a few more green flag laps in, but there hasn't been too many cautions, and it's unlike some instances before. It's been people losing it on their own. I don't think there's been a single incident yet that's caused a flag.
I don't think there's been apart from, like people hitting the wall and bouncing back and drivers trying to avoid but hitting them, but there's been no sort of argy-bargy in the corners causing the crash.
So it looks like the guys have learnt from Richmond anyway, so that's a positive. Pace car's in. Let's just see how long Kenville waits at the line, and he's gone.
Good start.
Good start, but not as good as last time, I don't think.
Jake Forster is it's a role reversal now. Alex is going to get the inside of Jake, whereas before it was the other way around.
Yeah, but let's just see how long Kenville can hold this lead. If he
Hanging
can
it
build
around
on
the
it now.
outside, to be fair. I think Alex wants sweet revenge, but Jake's actually held it around the outside.
Yeah, we were saying back in Michigan that he seemed to have kind of a great tyre conservation skills, and it's really showing now. Just managing to hang it around the outside. Not sure how long into the stint he'll be able to do that for, before he just starts to push higher and higher, and it becomes like a slower line. But at the moment, he seems to be quicker than AC, to be fair. And he's done it. He's up to second. Yeah. Quite a lot of action
or
behind
retain
him.
second. Yeah, quite a lot of action behind, like you said. Blake, Stephen, and Shane. Shane's up to 4th place on the.
Carving through the field at the moment. Obviously, Blake Talvey up next. I'm sure he'll get the job done on him.
This is playing into Campbell's hands at the moment. He's 6/10 up the road and just gaining even more time while they're fighting over position.
Yeah. 29 laps remaining, and I'm not sure 0.6 of a second of a gap would be enough. Ooh. And it looks like AC's cut quite a lot of time out of the leaders there. That's a great overtake past.
I think Jake was brushing up against the wall, and it kind of hindered his line into the final corner.
But Shane hanging around the outside, and it's going to go 3 wide here, probably. Who's that in the 31 car behind? This is not
Steve
good to watch.
Inside?
This is not going to end well.
Oh, this is fantastic, just looking at the different lines everyone's taken and the speed they can take in and out of the corner.
Yeah, everyone's being really respectful for each other, but someone's going to crack and say, I'm going to have this position, guys. You guys can squabble between yourselves.
Oh, Blake!
Slow me down.
Good reactions by Shane there to avoid a crash.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he just tagged him a little bit. It looked like Blake got a little bit sideways. But well held.
Shane scraping up against the wall. He's really on the ragged edge. That's given Jake a little bit of breathing space, as I just heard a crash in the background. The gap for the lead's now 0.3 of a second. That's a good 0.3 over 2 laps. He's taken out of Kenville.
Yeah, Jake Forster possibly holding these guys up now, because we know Shane's got the speed. He's got to get the job done pretty quick to try and catch up with these 2 guys in the lead.
Yeah, the leaders are in the 32s and these guys are in the 33s.
I'd say that Shane's got to get the job done on Jake Forster within the next 3 or so laps to have any chance of catching the guys in the lead. And it doesn't look like he's going to get it done in this kind of half of the lap. possibly into turns 3 and 4 he might get the job done.
Ooh, Jake very loose on the exit there.
Yeah, it seems to be a little bit of a bump. That's quite a characteristic of a lot of these medium speed ovals. Just that little bump on the exit of turn 2. We saw the same thing at Michigan, and obviously Charlotte's got that bump coming into turn 1. As we see now, Shane having a go up the inside. Looks like he's got a little bit of a run. Are the tyres going to hold on?
Beautiful. Carried the speed into the corner and realised that he was going to run out wide, and ooh, Jake tucking right underneath him there.
Great defence by Shane, just positioning his car where he wants him. But is that
Jake's
Jake just
pushing
giving
him
him a little
along.
bump draft on it?
Get out of the way.
I've got the exit. I want the position back, mate. That's what he's thinking. But it's not worked. Although he's all very close to the wall there, probably lifting off the acceleration. And that's
Jake's
just let
heart
Shane...
must be skipping a beat every time he exits corners because his car is very twitchy.
Yeah, very on the limit.
Kemble's actually pulling a gap on Alex, to be fair, up in the lead. As Alex scrapes the wall a little bit.
Pressure just getting to these guys now. And this
Now
is
we
what
can
we
see
want
what
to
Shane
see.
will do.
I'd say that Jake would be happy with a 4th place here, but at this point it looks like he's being challenged for that by the 31 car.
Absolutely.
Just needs, all the guys just need to get into a rhythm, and that's when you kind of produce your best times, or your most consistent times at least. 31 car there, just getting a little bit squeamish out of turn 2, having a little look, but not enough speed out of it. But Shane is getting a couple of tenths a lap on Forster at the moment.
About 13 laps, 12 laps to go. AC's actually dropping back from Kenville. I don't know whether he's overheated his tyres or Kenville's just sort of, because he's at the front, he can sort of dictate the pace. But ooh, as we see Jake up against the wall again, and who's that going up the inside? Steve up the inside there. But again, Jake refusing to change his line.
He just loves that high line, but it doesn't look like he's got the rhythm at the moment. Every lap seems to be a little bit different. Steve Smith doing very well in the championship. I think he might be in the top 5 or so in the championship, so good result here. See Ben just going very, very slow on the apron there. Not quite sure why.
He's spun out the last corner. He's run right up against the pit wall. Hasn't caused a caution, but he's had to go out of the pit exit.
Not great from him. Not great
Goes from bad to worse.
Yeah, not just in this race, but also in the other races that we've had this week as well. Obviously, we've got to thank Ben Hoyle for the 2 hosted sessions this week. See, did the Lotus 79 the other day, and Okayama full in the Solstice, the Pontiac Solstice Rookie on Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah, great to see that. We have sort of fun races to sort of let our hair down, as you'd say.
Yeah, Ben was on about hosting another session after this, so...
I'm sure some people will decline after this race. They must be pretty exhausted.
Yeah, 18 laps remaining. And the pack's spreading out a little bit. Is Tim just on the high line there, scraping against the wall? Let's just have a look at that. It's not great for him.
Shane's just on a very slow lap. What happened there?
Yeah, so Tim just goes high. Yeah, just rides up high. I'm not sure quite why that's happened, but just a little bit too aggressive into turn 4, I believe.
Race for the lead's hotting up.
Yeah, Jake Forster's been passed by...
Oh, I thought he lost it then. Kenville. Don't know whether he was just trying to break the... what was he doing now? Well, don't know if he was trying to break the toe, but just veered to the left all of a sudden. He actually pulled a little bit out from doing that. It's a new tactic. Gained barely hundredths of a second, and he's doing it again. He's definitely trying to break the toe.
Yeah, you see, just managing to hold it a lot lower, get high out of turn 3, and just make up a little bit of time.
Has Kenville got a bit of damage? Just on my screen, he's got a little bit of a rear end damage on the right side.
To see if we can get on board with that.
AC is holding a tighter line, but Kenville's definitely about half a tenth a lap quicker. And
yeah, it doesn't look like there's any damage on the car at the moment.
Got a word that Tim Mawson has lost connection again.
Disappointing race for him. As we kept saying, he's got the pace, just not the experience, and obviously these kind of outside interferences aren't helping either.
Yes, this computer froze again, unfortunately. Don't know whether it's a driver issue or maybe a problem with Iracing. I remember I used to have a issue where about 75% into a race, the whole game would just sort of stutter and freeze, which is a bit annoying, to say the least. It turned out to be a graphics card driver issue. Let's hope Tim can sort that problem out for the next race.
It's like AC's dropped off Kenville at this point. I'm not sure quite why, but...
Kenville was complaining, saying that he really didn't have the pace to win this race, saying that he was dropping off a lot of time as the tyre temperature increased, but you have to say he's certainly holding his ground, and in some cases, yeah, pulling away. He was quicker just on that lap by 25 thousandths of a second compared to Alex.
It's all going in the way. It's all going the way for Kenville at the moment, but as we've seen from quite a lot of the drivers here today, it's very, very easy just to lose it on your own. And perhaps Kenville might just pull off a tenth or so a lap just to keep the car stable, give himself a little bit more confidence, but I'm not sure AC will let him do that.
It's down to 2 thousandths of a second between lap times. Kenville 33.321, Alex Simpson 33.323. There's nothing in it.
But we have to say that Kenville doesn't have the toe, whereas AC does. So I'd still give it the advantage to Kenville in terms of absolute race kind of lap speed. But
yeah, he's got to take it easy, because you know in the last couple of laps sometimes you sort of lose concentration, thinking you're going to win, and then it can all go a bit pear-shaped.
10 laps remaining, and I won't bother bringing up the results, but Tom, can you just run down through the results at the moment?
Yep, will do. Just bringing that up. Obviously we got Kenville Innes in first, followed by Alex Simpson, who's about 8 tenths behind, and Nip or Tuck losing a little bit of time, but you know, hardly noticeable. 5 seconds behind the leader is Stephen H. Smith with he's actually got past Shane, I believe, because Shane's now behind him. Jake Forcer further 5 seconds behind Shane, and Blake Tovey is 10 seconds behind Jake, and then we've got Aaron Mullen 4 laps down, Ben Horrell 4 laps down, Oscar Hardwick 30 laps down, and Tim Mawson, who has had the computer issues where his computer freezes, is 34 laps down. He never actually managed to get past Oscar Hardwick.
Oh, disappointing for him. But perhaps a new cooler for his CPU might be in order. Might be in his on his shopping cart come Monday morning. See Ben Hall just going very wide there, just letting the guys go through. Just saw a little rear view of Ben's car. He seems to have some rear wing damage. See, that's going to screw his aerodynamics up, not just on the straights, but also around the corners as well. But Kenville seems to be on a little bit of a gap.
It's like it's thousandths, it's tenths, hundredths a lap, but it's just enough. The Alex Simpson was actually 8,000ths of a second quicker that lap.
The closer AC gets, the more and more that toe's going to help him out. At the moment, I'd say it's quite on the limit as to if he's getting a benefit from the toe, but if he can close up by a tenth or two, then the toe's just going to take more of an effect and just manage to bring him right onto the back of Kenville, I'm sure.
6 laps, do you think he could, if he had the pace, do you think he could get past in 6 laps?
Never say never. AC's a great competitor, not just in the trucks, but in everything he seems to race. Obviously, Legends on Saturday, or yesterday, he was very, very quick. And street stocks, we've seen he's very quick, especially at Thompson. Trucks, obviously, he's quick, because he's running in second here. I think he's leading a championship as well. IndyCar, he's right up there with the top guys as well, so he's a well-rounded racer.
Well, that's the thing, you know, with like maybe like a second off of the top runner's pace, like, you know, like Jake and Alex and people like that, if they go onto road courses, they'll be probably about that far behind as well. I mean, like, if you're good in one thing, you're pretty much guaranteed to be good in another thing as well.
Yeah, unless you're an oval specialist or Lime Rock Park MX5 specialist like myself. But
Bit of PR.
bit of PR, yeah. Gotta get my name out there, man.
Looking for a drive if someone will pay him.
Come on,
That'd be
guys.
awesome if they did that thing. Such thing.
I'm looking for a drive with Toro Rosso for the 2013 F1 season. Not going to happen, but let's jump back to this action. 3 laps remaining, and it looks like Kenville's got the job done. Even if he loses a tenth or so now, I can't see AC getting past.
Coast it around the last lap.
So let's just jump down through the order. Let's have a look at Steve Smith. Seems to be doing very well at the moment, holding up the blue car behind him, and looks like he's going to hold off for whatever position he's in. I'm not sure, it's only second. I know he's not, so...
Well, I think Steve was about a second ahead of Shane a few laps ago, and it's now down to half a second, so you never know. Ooh, Steve, very close to the wall. I think we should probably jump back with the leaders as it's race is nearly finished.
White flag's out, and let's just... Who do you want to ride with? AC or Kenville?
I think it's a good idea to run with the leader.
Kenville, and there we go. Half a lap
If
remaining.
he doesn't drop it out of the last corner, he'll win the race.
Well, Blake Talby is in front, and he could lose it. You never know. But it looks like he's... From the engine sounds, it looks like he's kind of eased off a little bit. And he's crossed the line, and that's a great win for Kenville Innes. It's going to boost his championship.
He doubted his race pace, but it paid off in the end. Just had the pace after the last safety car.
Yeah, but it's nice to see a Brit up there as well. AC doing very well. And do you want to just run through the standings? I can get my my broken ones up if you like.
Let's see what the broken ones are like first.
Alex Simpson leads or wins from Steve A. Smith, Shane Pateman third, Jay Forster fourth, Blake Talby fifth, and Mullen sixth.
Is it still under warranty?
I think it might not be. but
Oh dear.
I'll be asking for a refund.
Alright, sell it on eBay. I'm sure some. Ooh, Aaron Mullen is flipping down the back straight. Fantastic. Anyway, yeah. Let's run down the order. We've got. You could probably keep your Duff results up while I run through the official ones, just to have something on the screen. But Kenville Innes wins ahead of Alex Simpson, who was 7/10 behind. Steve H. Smith, he'll be pleased with 3rd place, keeping ahead of Shane, who at one point looked like he was about to take the lead of the race. Jake Forster finishes 5th, although he was quite a way behind the leader, 18 seconds behind, followed by Blake Tovey, who was 32 seconds behind the leader. And then 8th place, 4 laps down, was Ben Horrell. 9th place, actually no, I'll just do that again. It was 7th, Aaron Mullen, 4 laps down. 8th, Ben Horrell, 5 laps down. 9th, Oscar Hardwick, who had that crash. That took out Tim as well, who decided not to continue. Finished 40 laps down. Tim Mawson, 44 laps down. And then myself, you, and Jake Potak finished 11th, 12th, and 13th. It says I beat you, which is good.
On mine, you're dead last. I've actually beaten the race winner here, so that's a great result for me.
Fantastic win, Alex.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's up with the overlay. Obviously, we'll do our best to solve that. But it's been a very good race today.
You want to do some interviews?
Yeah, we can get a few of the guys up.
We'll be extremely bad, but let's give it a go.
Let's give it a little go.
I don't think Kenville's in week, is he?
No, but let's go for AC 2nd position. Great race from him. He's at the pace.
User left your channel.
And
User
Thomas.
joined
Sorry,
your channel.
I just jumped out without saying anything. I'll go down and see if he wants a word.
And that's basically what I was going to say. Great
User
great
left your
race
channel.
from AC. And I'm sure he's going to want to get a few words in, even if it's just to kind of boast about his team's efforts in the DWC. Obviously, he's doing the ARL team. He's a racer,
User
he's
joined your
racing
channel.
in the F1 car, but
Here we
let's
go.
just see
User was
see what he's
moved
got
to
to
your
say.
channel.
Great win, AC. Have you got any words to say?
It wasn't a win.
I come second.
Oh, second, my bad. I've got the standings up and they're wrong.
Yeah, the overlay's a bit messed up, but it said that Alex Harding won on the
No, I came
overlay.
at 10th.
Yeah, we had the
Okay.
same issue with V8 race. Connected late, I think it messed it up. So.
How did
no,
you?
The complete
Sorry, go on.
all good. Sorry, yeah, I was just sort of answering Alex's question, but for second. Yeah, no, pretty happy with that, really. I felt perhaps I had the pace to get a victory, but I burnt up a little bit too much tyre on the first few laps, getting past Jake and that. But apart from that, car felt good. I
Yeah,
felt,
just looking at the lap times. I mean, it was thousandths of a second in the last 20 laps. I mean, one lap it was 0.02 of a second between your lap times and Kenville's.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't see the gap coming down, or it did. It was like by a 10th, or then it went up by a 10th, and there was nothing to it. I was absolutely flat out as I could. I was just I was actually kind of hoping for a little bit of traffic or something like that, perhaps to mix it up, and so I could get right back on his tail and perhaps poke my nose underneath. But that's nothing happened, and he drove a solid race and deserved the win. To be fair.
Were you quite surprised to see that he had the pace at the last stint? Because he did mention that he felt that he didn't really think he had the pace, and looking earlier in the race, he sort of dropped off a bit.
Yeah, it was a little bit. Obviously, I was able to get past him in the first stint. Both me and Shane, I think it was, got past him and pull away. And then in the second stint, I was just able to sort of I think I pulled about a 1.5 second gap on him. So I felt fairly confident when I saw him in front on, I think not the last caution, but the caution before. I got a terrible restart. And that's when Jake got me, and then the caution comes straight out again. So that was the last thing I needed. But
That was synchronized spinning by Ben and Aaron Mullen that caused that.
I'll remember to give him some grief on the forum.
But yeah, not too many cautions, and it was very clean. Obviously, the guys have learnt from the earlier races in Richmond and Daytona, just to kind of calm it down. And the instant that the only cautions came were from just people kind of getting a little bit eager on the pedal. So it's nice to see that.
I think the rule changes that we introduced helped quite a bit as well. The one fast tire. There was no consequence at Richmond. Obviously, people were just throwing it in up the inside, and they just didn't care. I mean, I think one thing they knew is that if they hit someone and got damaged, they'd get it fixed. But if they hit somebody else, they'd get them fixed. So there was no consequence to whatever they did. They just thought, oh well, they'll get faster and they'll be back out. So what? But ever since we introduced that ready for Daytona, it's made a complete difference, and you can see people being a lot more patient.
I don't think there was a single incident between two drivers like colliding. I think there was one where Oscar hit the wall and bounced back, and Tim had nowhere to go, but there wasn't any sort of accidents caused by collisions. So
well, that's
good
great
to see.
Yeah, as I say, that's great to see, especially after the rookie race that we had on Saturday.
Do not mention that race.
But yeah, great second place. Obviously, you can take the screenshot off of the stream because it shows you're winning. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. And I'm sure you did well there. See 2 rounds left.
Yeah, we're at Chicago, and I never drove it before, so mind you, I haven't drove this place until sort of like Wednesday this week, so I was quite happy. I picked it up pretty nicely, so yeah, I'll look forward to that one.
And I believe you've kind of cemented your championship lead. You came into the race leading, and obviously...
Yeah, was it Shane? I think Shane and obviously Mike wasn't here today, so with drop rounds he might come back in, but I think he's missed 2 now, so it's important that he turns up for the rest. I've got a couple of drop rounds to have. I think like Richmond like a 5th place, so I'm hoping I'll be able to drop that out. Can't remember where I finished in Texas. I think it was a bit further down that, was it, or vice versa? I can't remember. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy. I'm in a strong position and got a good couple of tracks left for me, and hope that I can get some top 5s and take the championship.
Well done. Should we just see if we can get someone else up here?
I don't think Kenville or Steve are in TeamSpeak.
Perhaps Aaron
User
Muller?
left your channel.
Yeah, he did.
Forgot about AC in the channel.
Oh yeah, my bad. Great second place for him. And let's just see if you can jump down and get Aaron to come up here. Obviously, didn't have too great a race, finished 4 laps down, or he did on my screen anyway. But
I'm not sure what to ask him because I wasn't really paying attention to him during the race. So, have you got any questions for him?
yeah, we'll make something up. We'll be Martin Brundle, and you can be that woman. I don't know what her name is from the Tara or whatever her name is.
Right, I'll jump down and get him up.
User left your channel. User joined your channel.
Yep, he seems happy to do that. I'll just drag him up now.
User was moved to your channel.
Yeah, hey, hello Aaron. Great, solid result I'd say for you. How do you feel about it?
Well, I made a silly mistake coming out of the pits, spun my car, didn't I? So, didn't do myself any favours there. Got a few laps down, I just couldn't get it back, there wasn't enough cautions. But, pretty happy with how I drove, to be fair, considering I'd not done that much practice.
Yeah, we saw you when there was a couple of cars around you, and you seemed to have the pace to keep up with them. So obviously, I should say, if you didn't have that, kind of the incident there, and I think you had another incident, another point of the race as well. If you didn't, if you kept on the track for the whole of the race, I'm sure you would have finished in the top 5.
Yeah, I was up to 5th at one point, and I tried to hold on to it, but for some reason the back end just ran on me. I didn't have a chance to catch it. At least I didn't drop any points for having too many incidences, so take some positives from it.
Yeah, that's a great point. We haven't really mentioned that. Obviously, if you get 10 incidents in the race, then you do get a penalty point. So thanks, Aaron, for bringing that up. Sure.
He had a fantastic crash after the end of the race. When he started flipping. That was great.
That was down to Blake. I was just pulling over, minding my own business, ready to go back to the pits, and kapow, he was right up behind me.
Also, mid-race, great synchronised spinning between you and might have been Blake Tovey. Not
It's
quite sure.
Ben
Is it
Horrell.
Ben?
Ben, yeah.
Yeah, I managed to save mine. I don't think he was as lucky.
I think he overcorrected it and had a wall in the way. So it was
Yeah.
unfortunate.
I just let it roll on its own. Yeah, did okay saving that one.
Yeah, well done, and I'm sure you'll be back out next round at Chicagoland to try and see if you can break into the top 5.
Hopefully. Not keen on Chicagoland, but I'll give it my best shot. Guys, see you later.
Yeah, cheers for the
Great result.
interview. And on
User
that note,
was moved
I think
out of your channel.
we'll wrap it up. Any
You got
last
the,
words to say?
Twitter and Facebook stuff available?
I've got the yes, I believe so. Yep. Twitter is obviously at Apex Racing UK. Facebook's Apex Racing League, and be sure to subscribe to those two channels. I'm not sure if that's the right thing for Twitter, but yeah, friend us on Facebook or like us on Facebook. I don't know, fancy technologies. And be sure to check out that. Obviously on the Facebook we've got loads and loads of competitions and things going on every so often. And on Twitter you can get kind of minute by minute, sometimes anyway, whenever people are around, to kind of put little bits of information out there. I'm sure as the new season gets underway we'll be slowly but surely releasing new kind of Twitters and Facebook statuses about like events coming up and things like that. So yeah, check those out. And so thanks Tom for joining me in the commentary.
It's getting better, isn't it?
Yeah, a few technical glitches, but
We always have
slowly-
those, as
slowly
AC
getting
says.
there. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining us, and I'll leave you with the this exit video. And be sure to join us next time out at Chicagoland, where we're sure we'll see some great racing from the guys there.